with the anger. Like, fuck, I'm angry, but being with it in our body.
Yeah.
A lot of men would rather do than be. They'd rather run a fucking 100 miles than sit and talk about what they're feeling. They would rather express and be aggressive and fucking angry at the world than actually accept what their pain is.
Yeah.
And be present with that.
Yeah.
They get caught up by the experience, right? They get in the experience as opposed to going, oh, wow, I'm fucking angry. Right? That's true masculinity, is to have an awareness of your experience. And that's where presence and your presence going, oh, fuck, like I'm angry. And anger's not a bad thing. I believe misdirected aggression, for sure.
Which is anger devoid of connection and love, right?
Exactly.
So welcome to another episode of the Dare to Be Different podcast. And I'm super, super excited today because beside me is Chris Brown, 37 years of age, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt, 20 years as a professional coach, a devoted dad, and a man who I respect because I've been watching his journey over the past 5 years since he came on one of my men's leadership retreats and has gone on to strength within his life. Chris, great to have you on the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, man. It's funny to come full circle into this position with you.
What are you checking in with?
You know what? I'm checking in with reflection. As we just kind of chatted briefly before the podcast of the whole journey, and also that slight incident I had on Sunday with someone broke into my car and stole bags, and that made me very, very reflective. You know, very easy to get into victim state in life, and I was reminded of the levels of consciousness and leadership with that, and you know, this is happening to me. Is the victim state, or by me is my responsibility. And I was thinking, you know, as we had things stolen from us, it was like, what is this teaching me through me?
Yeah.
And so yeah, I'm in like a reflective stance right now.
Okay. The reason I'm excited, and I can actually feel it in my body now, my body's vibrating because I'm really excited about the topic you're going to share and how it can influence men and women out there. I'm super excited because, you know, you've always been this go-getter. You know, even at a young age, you were achieving success in business. You were dead confident. Your energy went into that business. And then I see you over the last 4 years putting the same amount of energy into yourself with the goal of showing up better within your intimate relationship. And I know you are a devoted dad. 4 years ago, I remember being in your company and you'd parted from your partner, which was sad. It was over. And then I see you 4 years later and you're back in relationship, you're back with your family. And I know there's been a hell of a lot of work in between, and your commitment from the outside looking in to your own transformation and how you show up as a dad and a partner is incredible. So I'd love to go into the last 4 years and the how of your transformation.
Yeah.
Take me back, Chris, to the struggles you had and the time you had to leave your beloved family.
Yeah. It's really interesting. I don't recommend separation from your family. For some people, it might be the right thing, but it was honestly, as a father who had seen his parents go through a lot and stick together, I was extremely disappointed in myself to not have the tools or the skills to be able to navigate that. And I can remember the day that I kind of moved out, everything was moving extremely fast in my head, and it was completely dissociation out of my body, like getting all my stuff. And I'd found an apartment, and not too far, like literally 5-minute walk from my family home. And closing the door the first night, didn't really have the furniture, a mattress on the floor. and just thinking like, fuck, how did I end up here? I see myself as somebody who is wise and has tools and skills in communication, and in my professional life was able to navigate challenges. And then it came to this situation, and it was just like we ended up in this position, like without even really, like it swept me away. And I was so focused on work and money and providing for my family that I wasn't actually providing what was required for my family. I misplaced the value of what providing meant. So yeah, I was just extremely disappointed in myself, actually, and completely out of tune.
Yeah. Okay. So fast forward to now, and you're showing up very differently in your relationship. You've got a different outlook on what a relationship means to you. Tell us about the journey over the last 4 years. Tell us about that shift from blaming to actually pointing the finger towards yourself, which I know you've brutally done, and you've made it about you. Tell me about the start of that journey and what's gone on over the last 4 years and how you've managed to do the work that's necessary to show up better and have better tools than your father had, for example.
Yeah, I think the key thing really for me was, I mean, you know what I'm like. I'm a self-development junkie. So the second that I knew I had a problem 6 months before, and I internalized that as like a sex problem. Yeah. As probably most men do. Like, oh, we have a sex problem. Like, we aren't connecting, right? And I hired like a therapist, and I didn't realize, like, I dealt with a lot of anxiety in my body, and I didn't have awareness of that, really, honestly. I didn't see myself as an anxious person. And that anxiety started to manifest into our intimate relationship and then into my life. And I internalized that, oh shit, this is a problem that I can fix within me, and then everything will be better. And it got to a point when there was just such a fracture that we ended up parting, and it was like, it was devastating. But the second, like, I can remember that, like, the second that we split, digging into I just started reading and consuming stuff, and I was like, what the how am I here? And I actually read this book by is it G.S. Young, called The Masculine Relationship, and actually funnily got to meet Robert. I was in a 6-month men's container with Robert Glover. No One Missed a Nice Guy, through John's container, and then also he had worked with Youngblood, G.S. Youngblood. He'd worked with him to help him write that book, which was like a full circle moment for me. But I was reading that book, and it was like I read that book, and it was like all of the ways in which I fucked up was just like, I was reading it, was like, oh my God, I knew nothing.
What were some of those ways, Chris? Do you remember?
Yeah, I mean,
some patterns.
Totally. Closure, for sure. Shutting down.
Checking out.
Like conflict, and I would just, I would disappear. I'd stay in the office. 10, 12 hours, you know. No real attunement to needs of Danielle. No real thought around what she might need. I think through modeling, like, I'd look at both my parents were providers, and it was like, as long as you work hard, you bring in money, you put food on the table, you have a roof over the head. And of course, I mean, I wasn't all of that, like, you know. But they were hugely driven by work, and probably a lack of check-in with each other. You know, just a complete lack of awareness around her experience, how she feels, what she's going through. Defensiveness. If she did raise something, I would be. She used to call me the politician. And because I was so switched on as a coach or in communication, I would like twist things and flip it back. And you could say, you know, manipulation or whatever. But was never intentional. It was just patterns that I had. Like I didn't like to be wrong. I didn't like to be made out to be wrong.
Yeah.
And I'd always try and find reasons and justifications and and just that inability to look at myself and go, where is she right?
Yeah.
You know, where is she right?
Yeah.
And be with that. And my interpretation was that if I wasn't bringing in the money to have the lifestyle that we want, to do the traveling that we like, I misplaced that value for sure. And she said many times over, like, you might want this, but we want you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's hard, you know. I mean, it's still something I battle with now. I just have an awareness of the thing, right? As opposed to the unconsciousness around it.
Of course. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. I share the same struggles. Difficult when I perceive that I'm being judged.
Yep.
Overreactive.
Yep.
Remember one of my therapists saying to me, when you have a real strong trigger inside of you based on something that your partner says, you need to look at it as probably true.
Yep.
Okay, so you've read the book, you've come across Dr. Glover's work, No More Mr. Nice Guy.
Yep.
Check him out if you're not aware of his work. You've also been exposed to the seeds of John Weiland's work. And if you rewind back a few years, what was the next step for you then when you had some insights, a light bulb moment, you realized that actually you were just operating based on the patterns downloaded as a kid in your childhood? What was your next go-to in order to transform?
I was just deep in therapy at that point, you know. I was really deep into therapy, and I mean, I'd started therapy whilst we were still together, and I continued that. But then I just kept reading books. I read The Way of the Superior Man, and it was just this like next book. And prior it was everything was around business, leads, sales, marketing, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, and like the traditional mindset leadership stuff like Tony Robbins. And then I'd gone into this whole other world of like masculine, feminine dynamics, like body awareness, like, so many different things. And I'd started work with Matt Gunn.
Yeah. I remember actually the time when you started work for Matt, and I remember when I actually first met you, you actually did some work for me.
Yeah.
And I remember when you came across this concept of embodiment and getting out your head and doing physical practices to get into your body and your heart and to feel what you couldn't feel growing up. And I noticed a shift in you then. Can you comment on that type of work? Because people will be listening to this thinking about, therapy, psychotherapy, but can you talk about the types of things that you did and how it helped you at that time?
Yeah, so I think it was like 3 years ago, I did something like a breath thing with Matt and Ryan. And this was maybe 6 months post-separation, 3 years-ish ago. And I remember doing the breath work in the group, and then my friend Johnny was like, just started crying. And I was like, and then all of a sudden it like and I start crying and just start tears and tears and tears. And Matt always tells this story. He's like, when I first met you, you were so rigid. And I never seen myself that way. But obviously I had this like physical guard and this physical protection.
Yeah. And linear thinking, right?
Yeah, very linear. Yeah. Very, very logical, rational, linear. Fucking like this need to be right.
Yeah.
This like deep need to be right. And then through the embodiment and through breath and through going on Men Without Masks, and like it just started gradually cracking me open. And I mean, some of the practice I've been in John's containers for like 2 years now, and some of the practices that I've done through him, it's completely revolutionized the way in which I see things. Like embodiment is for the body what books and podcasts are for the mind, right? And I think before it was all accumulation of knowledge. And part of that strategy was like, how do I make myself so valuable that people don't leave me?
Yeah.
that was my MO. It's like, if I'm valuable, people won't leave me. And my deepest suspicion of self was that I'll always be alone. And so I'd built this entire strategy around being a coach to be valuable so that people won't leave me. And then through the embodiment practices, I'm like opening up. I'm like, oh, fuck, like this is what vulnerability is. It's like, I can be left and people should leave me.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's so hard to describe the benefit of embodiment.
Yeah.
Because it's a feeling that you have to experience.
Mm.
But it's a softness, it's an openness, it's a slowness, an opening into self. And like, even when you ask me, what are you checking in with? You know, I was just like, what is internal?
Yeah.
What am I noticing? What am I feeling? And I think coming home to the body it was the awareness that I was carrying anxiety that I didn't know that I was transmitting out to the world.
Mm-hmm.
And even if I didn't have an awareness of it, other people did.
Mm-hmm.
And even if they didn't know what it was, they felt it.
Uh-huh.
And I think that's it. Like embodiment's just moving that energy out of you and like letting go of the stuff that's stuck and opening up in a way that you're no longer rigid. And like some of the shit that I've done in the practice is like I would never have done 4 or 5 years ago. You know, non-linear movement and dancing around and even sacred theater. Like one of the things that John gave me was like in front of 50 men, like 3 minutes of experience, like feel pleasure in your body in front of 50 other men.
Wow.
And to sit there and do that theatric for 3 minutes and be completely okay with it. That's really the benefit of embodiment and just like being free and just being expressive and being yourself and not using. And the value I always pitched was in my mind. Like, I am valuable at my head.
Yeah.
And now it's like my presence and centering and ground and awareness and depth in the body that actually brings a lot of value. Like that settles people, that relaxes people. So where I used to transmit anxiety, now I can transmit ground and presence and depth and lower the energy.
Yeah. Let's pause for a second and just review where we're at right now. I also speak to the audience, so thanks for sharing that. And you know that the embodiment piece has definitely been in my life and continues to be in my life for the foreseeable future. There's so many layers to peel back. There's so much more potential that lies within me, and the route to that potential is really kind of continuing to get in my body and be present in my body. So we're not saying here that it's wrong to be masculine. You know, there's something to be said for being raised in an environment like me and Chris have, where we're taught to be linear, we're taught to have a goal, we're taught to have a target, we're taught to create a roadmap, we're taught to be stoic, we're taught to be still, we're taught to check out and spend time on our own whenever we need to recover, and we're taught to fix things and maybe rescue things. And we're not saying that's wrong. Yet there's a whole other side of existence and expression that needs to be reclaimed, that it wasn't safe for us to feel growing up, was it, Chris? We received love by being the tough guy, didn't we? And the problem solver.
Yeah. And I think it's not that the way in which I lived was wrong, because that still brings so much value to it. But now I have more capacity and range.
Yes.
I have more range. I can meet my partner where she's at, where before couldn't. Right. So like, all I see it is like I had this very specific toolkit that was very small.
Yeah.
And anything outside of that I struggled with. Yeah. And through embodiment, I just have more range.
Yeah.
And what I first did when I like went through this, I don't want to call it like spiritual journey or whatever, but what I first did was like I went from this structure, all the things that made me successful. I went from that and I went, fuck all that. I'm going to do all this stuff instead. And I think sometimes you can do that and get overly emotional, overly in your body, overly in flow. And I needed that. Like I needed that hard reset to the other side. And then what I found recently is like, oh, this was actually valuable, but so is this.
Yeah.
And then where is my point within the middle of that? So like, how can I be deeply grounded, tethered to earth, but fully expressive? right? And that's my thing now. Like I want to live in a way in which I'm grounded, present, tethered to earth, yet fucking open and expressive.
Yeah.
Like I can meet my 15-year-old daughter where she's at.
Beautiful.
But I can bring a ground and presence with that. Like I can instill strength within my son without minimizing his emotional experience. Like we don't have to be like, don't cry. I can be with him and allow that expression, but also be in a way in which allows him to feel his own experience, but then also know that, hey, there is another way you can see this, or there's another way in which you can experience this, or help him extract the value from that as well. And like with my boys, he's very, very intuitive, very, very sensitive, has a lot of that from his mom, and very open-hearted and loving. And 2-3 years ago, I'm like, I need to toughen him. Like it's almost like this thing, I need to toughen him up. And I'm like, there's time for that. And I'm starting to see now, like I've just got him into jiu-jitsu recently, and I'm starting to see like, oh, let me build the capacity within his emotional experience. And Danielle and I have encouraged that. And there's time to, sharpen the other areas. And I think so much with little boys, we can get that out of them very quickly.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's about getting that out of them. I think it's about helping them navigate that and keep the range of capacity. Because I think we're born into this world as love.
Yeah.
And that gets chipped away,
of course,
very quickly through our teachers, our parents, our friends, our social circles, probably more so our social circles than anything, especially as young men, but also women as well. Young women, they get that chipped out of them.
Of course. And
so it's like, can we keep that part? Can we keep nurturing that loving openness and bring in the fucking savage and the killer and the warrior when it needs to be there?
Yeah. Beautiful. Wow. It's interesting hearing you talk about range, and I've heard you talk about that before, and I love it. And the basics of what I think you're talking about is that capacity and that range to be able to feel the different sensations and feelings and emotions that actually move through the body. We both know that emotion is an energy in motion. It moves through the body. But when you've been raised as a stoic, hard, linear thinking go-getter, it's fucking tough, Chris, isn't it?
Hard, very hard.
And I see out there a lot of masculine men, if you will, or a lot of men that have been stereotypically raised to be a man and doing ultra endurance events and things that in my judgment are still linear and maybe still only access the emotion of anger. Yet I'd love it if more men, especially the tough guys, the ones that were the tough guys, could explore this type of edge, which is equally as fucking hard, if not as hard, if not more hard.
100%.
Talk to me about the challenges you've faced in going into this non-linear way of being, going into your body, accessing feelings. We hear the word emotional intelligence. You can't read about emotional intelligence in a fucking book. You've got to feel every single emotion in your own body before you can attune to someone else's. Golda, talk about that.
Yeah, so I think it's funny, right? Anger and this outrage that men have, and they see that as like hyper masculine, right? John would describe that as the feminine. So it's like everything in experience without ground is the feminine. And so we find like a lot of men get in this rage or this anger, and like they're running to get this steam out of them. Like that's the feminine running through them.
Wow.
That's the energy running through them. And but we
try and get rid of it because we don't want to feel it, right?
Exactly. Yeah. We want to get rid of
instead of becoming intimate with
integrating it. Right. Yeah. And I think it's creating it's having presence with the experience, being with the anger. Like, fuck, I'm angry, but being with it in our body.
Yeah.
A lot of men would rather do than be. They'd rather run a fucking 100 miles than sit and talk about what they're feeling. They would rather express and be aggressive and fucking angry at the world than actually accept what their pain is and be present with that.
Yeah.
They get caught up by the experience, right? They get in the experience as opposed to going, oh, wow, I'm fucking angry. Right? That's true masculinity, is to have an awareness of your experience.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where presence and your presence going, oh, fuck, like I'm angry. And anger's not a bad thing. I believe misdirected aggression.
Yeah.
For sure.
Which is anger devoid of connection and love, right?
Exactly. Disconnected from the heart.
Yeah.
It's like the feminine loves dark energy from the man with the heart.
Yeah.
Dark energy without the heart is abuse.
Is a fight or flight.
It's abuse.
Yeah.
And most people, most men, when they're having sex or whatever, and they're channeling anger through their dark energy at their partner, is their aggression towards maybe their relationship with the feminine. But when it's done with love and it's open-hearted, and a lot of women will tell you this, like open-hearted darkness and devotion is a beautifully nourishing experience for them. So it's really about integration of two energies.
Yeah.
And knowing that we all have a masculine, we all have a feminine, we all have the ability, like I, brown belt in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And actually, jiu-jitsu is probably my first experience of embodiment without knowing what that was.
Mm-hmm.
But I have an embodied confidence from jiu-jitsu, knowing that if I get into hand-to-hand combat with like 90% of the world, I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
With no weapons included, right?
You reckon you could take me?
I think so. I reckon you can show me a rugby tackle or two, though. But even that, it's like, it's really about utilizing like tools that can increase our range. When I first started jiu-jitsu, it's like, it's very fight or flight and you're rigid. As you become more evolved in that sport, you stay slow and calm and relaxed, and you're not panicking. And I think that's the same thing. It's like, if you look at the journey with embodiment in men, we're all just white belts of emotional experience.
Yeah, of course.
And we're fucking white knuckling against our emotions every day.
Yeah.
And we're checking out with drink and alcohol and drugs and fucking even coffee.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm a fucking coffee addict. I'll raise my hand up. With so many things, our phones and porn and alcohol, like substances, whatever it is, to check out of what we're feeling inside. And it gets us all. But then we become, adapt. And embodiment is like, can we be with the experience while staying grounded and tethered?
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, thanks for sharing. And thanks for being vulnerable enough to share that example of making love, having sex, however you want to define that, and the importance of bringing the penetrative force and combining that with love. I know for years as a teenager and even into my 30s and early 40s, I didn't know it at the time, Chris, but through the act of sexual intercourse, I was just projecting pain onto women until I realized. And there's probably a lot of men doing the same thing.
100%. I mean, that's been that area of my life has been one of the biggest growths that I've had, especially being in John's co-ed programs and allowing the space to practice with women, and they're sharp. They will fucking tell you when you lose presence.
Can we go to your definition of practice? Because it's a good conversation, this, Chris, and I think will inspire a lot of men out there. But there may be a misconception that, oh wow, I get what they're talking about logically.
Yeah.
And wow, I'm gonna try that, and now I know what's wrong. I'm cured. But mate, these fucking patterns are hardwired, and it takes effort to change them. But the nervous system is so adaptable, they can be changed. So can you speak to the importance of practice and what that's meant for you over the past, especially the past 2 years?
Well, yeah, for sure. Like, reactivity to a situation is a pattern, and it's our nervous system. And so my reactivity is like fast. And so now I have a window which I didn't have before. And sometimes if I'm tired, I'm low on energy, I've had a busy day, that window shrinks. but I also have the tools now to repair, which I think is huge. Practice is, my daughter went mad at me this weekend. She's like, why you got to say all that language like you're a coach? Like, so I'm like, babe, I would love for you to have a practice of this. And she's like, don't say that, just ask me. But the practice is everywhere in our life.
Yeah.
And John will say, the practice brings you to the practice. So for example, if you are, doing yoga, it could be seen as a practice, but what shows up when you're doing yoga? That's your real practice. Meditation is a practice, and people think meditation is, no thought, no thing. The real practice of meditation is sitting your ass on the mat, and then what shows up when meditating, right? With your partner, intimacy, practicing intimacy.
Yeah.
Sit there for 5 minutes and stare into her eyes and don't say a thing. And watch as one of you start to check out.
Yeah.
That's the real practice, staying intimate and close in that moment.
Yeah.
So there are practices that we can set up in our life. And then when it comes to the reality of doing that practice, there's often something else that will show up, which becomes the real practice. And practice is just a name for an intentional thing that you're going to do around an area that you want to change.
With presence, devoid of the usual distractions.
Absolutely. So meditation with even music, that could be a clutch.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about it now. I gave myself a 12-month window for this. It's the first time I've talked about it. It was 6 months ago. So we had a winter edge practice, and my practice was to climb Snowdon on my own, telling no one, not posting on social media about it.
Yeah.
And just fucking off and doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
With no phone. I had my phone for safety in my bag, but no phone, no music, no podcast, no audio book, no stimulus whatsoever. Only Danielle knew I was doing it. And I fucked off and went, and it was a horrendous, I don't know if you remember around Christmas, I think it was like 27th of December. It was fucking horrendous weather. Within 2 minutes of getting out the car, I was soaking through. The wind was like 50, 60, 70 mile an hour winds. It was dangerous. I was terrified at one point. And part of that practice for me was to go there and do that and be fully present every fucking step.
Yeah.
And be there. And the bigger practice was, can I do this without looking for the recognition of others by posting on social media?
Without looking for the hit.
Yeah. And I actually set within my container, I was like, I won't speak about this even for 12 months. I was 6 months in now. I feel like I'm over that piece. So it's like, there are often things that we will do that we do to get the validation. So even the fitness events, the 100-mile run, people do that because they want to run away from the pain, but they also do it because they want people to say, good job, good boy.
Of course.
You did well.
Yeah.
And get the validation and recognition.
Yeah.
And that for me was like an intentional thing of like, what would be an edge for me would be to do this and then not talk about it, not seek recognition, not seek validation. And it happened to be torrential conditions. And all I wanted to do was fucking tell everyone how bad it was and how brave I was and how fucking deadly it was.
Yeah.
And like being with that alone, like that energy of like fighting against wanting that validation. And I think we can make anything into a sacred practice in our life if we want to.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
Like we can look at any area. Like, can you be with your kids for 60 minutes and just say yes to everything that they say? It's a sacred practice. And then notice, I want to fucking check my phone. Oh, fucking hell, I'm tired. Oh, really? You want to do that? Like, and notice all the chatter that starts to crop up because of that. So the word practice for me now just means to set an intention around a thing that I want to improve or change. And so it has the element of the masculine. I think it's a really important thing you're saying. I think in this work, it's like that drive and commitment and dedication of the masculine often gets shamed.
Yeah.
And it's not about that. It's like, I've kind of like come full circle, and I'm getting excited about business again. I'm getting excited about building business where I couldn't fucking think of anything worse 3 years ago. I was burnt out.
But it's less stoic. It's more juicy, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's juice in it. There's spunk in it. There's vitality in it. There's playfulness in it.
Yeah, like stoicism in and of itself, I don't think is very helpful for men.
Yeah.
I mean, it has its place.
Yeah.
But like,
I hear you.
The feminine doesn't want the stoic man.
Yeah.
They don't want the overly emotional man either, but they want to feel you.
Mm. Yeah.
They want to feel every part of you. They want your full expression, but they also want to know that you're the man also.
Of course. Of course. I want to talk about repair in a moment. Before I do that, I just want to talk about connection, because you've done a lot over the past few years, and a lot of physical practice, whether that's different types of meditation, movement practices, breathwork practices, intimate practices close to a partner, speaking your truth, sexual practices, the use of the arts, music, nature, whatever that is. You've done a lot with the intention of capturing your attention and bringing it more into the language of the body. And you've felt more than you've ever felt before. And because of that, you're more connected to yourself, and you feel more connection when you're with other people, right?
Yep.
Because you've felt a deeper connection to yourself. Amazing. What about repair? Talk to me about repair and the importance of repair, because that is hard, isn't it?
It's one of the things that I find hardest, actually, because of my pattern of defensiveness and not wanting to be wrong and to be made to feel like I'm doing wrong. Well, because I want praise and validation and love, right? Like that's my MO. It's like my entire life playing football, my dad would be there and I'd ping a ball 60 yards and I'd look straight to him and see what his reaction was, right? It's like, so repair is like the act of going, here's where I'm responsible. Here's where I fucked up. Here's where I'm wrong. Here's, I'm sorry, genuinely. And it's really fucking hard.
Yeah.
Because none of us, it takes two people to repair. It really does. It takes somebody to receive it with humility and not weaponize it. It takes somebody to recognize with awareness where they fucked up. If you'd have said to me 3.5 years ago, Danielle and I would be back together, I don't know how we would have got back together.
Yeah.
We really mistreat each other.
Yeah.
And caused a lot of chaos in that moment. And to some degree, we're still in an active state of repair.
Yeah.
And we probably will be forever. And to use the phrase of a practice, it is always a practice, because I spend 34 years of my life in a pattern. That's not going to unravel in a handful of years. I've got an awareness of it now, but it's still there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes when we grow and we develop and we learn about intimacy and relationships and this and that, and masculine and feminine and blah, blah, blah. We for someone like me, that just gives me more tools to fucking defend and strategize and avoid.
And justify.
So now the act of repair is really one of me going, where is she right? That's my gateway to it.
Nice question.
Where is she right? Where is she right?
Wow.
Where is she right?
Beautiful.
Because my standard would be, where are they wrong?
Yeah.
And that applies intimate in relationship, in business, and everything. If somebody comes to me with a complaint, I even look back at like messages 10 years ago. Sometimes I like crop up against someone on Facebook and I like, look, I'm like, where the fuck did they go? And then I'll go into my messages and I'll go, wow, look at that thread of messages that we had.
Yeah.
That's not okay.
Yeah.
There's repair that needs to be done there, and reconciliation. And that's a big part of the work that John does with us, is reconciliation. And I look back and I go, wow, I was very defensive. Yeah. People bring me something and I twist it and fucking flip it back and put it on them. And now the thing for me, even if that person is batshit crazy, out of the mind, completely projecting wrong, I'm like, what's the thread of where they're right and how can I honor that? Yeah, I can see that. I disagree with bump, but I can see where you're right here.
Wonderful.
And that alone, I mean, it relaxes people. If you want to get the best out of someone, I mean, you called me out. I mean, it was like, when was this? It was like a year and a half ago. And I missed something with you. I was on a flight. We had a call, I think.
Yeah. You'd missed something.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the first time.
Yeah, it was like the second time. And you're like, you fucking second time, you need to get your shit together. Instantly, I'm like, oh, shame, clamping up. And you said, listen, I'm not pissed off, but you need to get this together. He's fucking right.
Yeah.
He's right. It was actually a real big shift for me, that actually. And then I realized where else in my life I was out of integrity with the world.
Yeah.
I was taking on too much. I was trying to overcommit and overpromise and overgive and not really understanding what my capacity was at that time. And it was getting me into a lot of trouble. And that is my cycle. It's my pattern. I will do that.
Yeah.
Even now, I'll overcommit to a client. I promise something and then it becomes really hard to fucking deliver on that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's like repair is huge in all areas of our life. If all we could say is that's where you're right, I agree. You're right. I see that.
Great question, mate.
I'm sorry.
Great question. And an embodied sorry, not a cognitive sorry, right?
Yeah. And like, my daughter and Danielle, they're great mirrors for me. And my daughter's 15, very intuitive. And she's like, when you say I apologize, I don't really feel it.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So I've got to be in tune with her request. Like if she wants me to feel my apology, she needs to hear the words, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And I could go into my thing and I'll say, well, I apologize is the same thing. But it's not if she doesn't hear it. And really to own that, I think, is important. It's so important to be able to go, okay, like, I'm sorry, I can imagine that really, when I said that, I can imagine that really hurt your heart, you know?
Yeah.
Like really, really getting into their experience, I think is a big thing. And
validating her feelings.
100%. Like I think that the work with John Wineland and being in his programs, the reconciliation and repair stuff has been really, really impactful for me.
Let's touch on a few more significant moments or practices over the last couple of years, because I know you've been in this learning container. You've done a few different programs now with John Wineland, who's an embodied relationship coach from the US. So over the last 2 years, what are some other really significant practices or insights or aha moments you've had?
I'll tell you one, that there are people in the world that really, really, really fucking want to get this right deeply. And we can often look to the way in which humanity is going in a bad direction. But there are a bunch of people out there that really want to fucking love. They really want to stay open. They really want to open their hearts. And particular men. You know, the women, yes, of course. But as John would say, like women have had thousands of years of practice in the art of love. It's like men are 100 years, you know? We were brought up as warriors and killers and hunters. And we weren't in a place where we had capacity to feel, right? We didn't have the time or energy to feel. We had to kill. We had to be ruthless. We had to protect our villages. And so we're catching up.
We had to be stoic.
Yeah, we had to be. We're catching up.
Yeah.
You know, not only were the men rapists, pillagers, hunters and killers, but they were also the other side of that, fighting against that, you know? And that's only a few generations back in our DNA.
Yeah, of course.
And so big thing is that we are learning, we are trying, and I think the group of men that I have around me from that world and fortunately locally as well, and a lot of men don't have what we have locally between the likes of you, Matt, and I, and Matt, and the likes of the guys that are involved in Men Without Masks, is that there are men that really, really, really want to make a difference. I think number one.
Can we just touch on that a bit more?
Yeah.
It's beautiful to hear you say that. So what I'm hearing or what I'm telling myself is that over the last 2 years, in your world, you've seen evidence that a lot of men are showing up with a longing to love, a longing to change patterns, and a longing to be intimate with life.
Yeah, deeply.
Me too.
Yeah.
Sometimes journalists ask me the question, how do you think men are showing up in the world? And I say, I don't fucking know. But I know one thing, in my sphere, my daily world, from day to day, I'm seeing the men who really, really have a longing to change and show up differently in an intimate relationship.
Yeah, there are a group of men out there trying and hard and doing work. Like, one of the things, it doesn't necessarily annoy me because I understand it, right? It's like, where are all the good men? Probably not hanging out in the places that you're looking for them.
Yeah.
You know, where are all the good men, yet you're going out drinking?
Yeah.
Of course, you're in the fucking environment where there aren't many men that are conscious doing the work, hanging out. And it's a projection and a judgment. I'm aware of that. But I think we're trying.
Yeah.
And there's a group of us that are fucking a good portion of people. I have solid men around me. I'm very fortunate in that, like, extended. I've got good, very close friends, the likes of Johnny, who'd been on Men Without Masks, and David Chambers, who I was in John's work with for a little bit, who's also facilitated with Men Without Masks and being an attendee, and like all of the Men Without Masks guys, like surrounded by great men. But I'm aware that the people that broke into my car on Sunday were probably men too.
Yeah.
Highly likely. And that struck me. It's like, there are a lot of men around me that are doing deep and good work, but the world is still starving for great men. And hopefully the leaders that we have can continue to influence and shape. And I think part of that is a part of what I see my responsibility as a man who wants to help other men to deepen, is to be the very best version that I can be. And I think the fact that I'm a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt and I fight and I compete in that, but also have the range to go to the other edge of that, I think that's my responsibility to show up the best I can in both areas. So whenever I'm doing a breath work and I've got a group of people that aren't necessarily spiritually open and I can feel their closure, I'm like, listen, I fight and I like to fight. Yeah. But I also love to love.
Yeah. Here.
So.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Anything else from your John Wineland experience?
Yeah. I think intimacy is one of the hardest things for men to tap into.
And we can't even conceptualize it at times, can we?
No. Sex, yes. Intimacy, no. We can be sexual without intimacy. And we can be intimate without sex. That was something I didn't ever get in my mind.
Yeah.
And intimacy as well, like you can be intimate in your life, in your relationships. Intimacy to me is vulnerability at its deepest core.
Yeah.
And I think we're taught that our truth doesn't really matter and nobody really cares because we're in a world of pleasantries. How you doing? Yeah, I'm great. How are you? Nobody really gives a fuck. Like it's not really deep. But when you ask, I give you my truth. When I ask you, you give me my truth.
Yeah.
I think the more that we can model that, the better. But yeah, intimacy without sex, like even a practice I could give for the men right now is like, how could you be intimate with your partner without being sexual? And we all struggle with that. Fuck. As much practice as I've done, it's still a practice for me.
Yeah.
How can we be intimate, soft, open, firm, present? How can we pin her with our presence? And the practice of intimacy is something that has been really this last year specifically in John's teacher training program. That's been like the thing, like, okay, practice and intimacy.
Yeah.
How can I bring that back and give that in a way that really nourishes? And it's hard.
Yeah.
Now, because you're like, I grew up in football, you grew up in rugby. I always felt on the fringe, on the outside, Felt like I wasn't one of the lads. Struggled with anxiety. It affected my sport massively. Like I never fulfilled my potential in sport because I never felt part of the team, which was probably self-isolation and exclusion. And probably every other man in that room felt the same, but never really spoke about it. So we don't know how to be intimate as men.
Yeah.
Because that would be weakness, vulnerability. And if you look at the programming, the karmic programming of us, you know, talking about us being killers, hunters, and warriors like 300 years ago, that might mean death.
Yeah. Of course.
But we live in a different world now. We live in an inherently safe world.
Yeah.
You know, there is shit that goes on that makes it not safe, but it's the safest time we've ever had. And we're in a new generation, like the feminine desires and demands. There are a demand for your presence. There are a demand for your intimacy.
Yeah. 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 So many men come through to me via the wives and the girlfriends, you know, it's a final demand.
Yeah. And it's funny, you know, because it's like, at what point you just fucking accept that you're living in pain?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not fun.
Yeah.
And all of those times you go out and fucking get pissed and check out, like that it's not serving you. Like how long does it take? Like I gave up alcohol like 700 days ago, whatever it is now, nearly 2 years ago.
Yeah. Couple of things you mentioned then I just want to touch on before I bring everything towards the present moment and what you'd say to men. But you spoke about two things then, which resonated with me. Modeling something different and truth. Three things, and you spoke about penetration as well, or you spoke about presence or pinning her without having sex. And one of the greatest leadership lessons that I am aware of is they cannot become what they cannot see. So I think we have a duty to show something different. Also, just to simplify what you mean by pin her with your presence, for men out there, and Chris, you can add to this, we're talking about simple things like, even with your kids, like be present with your eyes, you know, penetrate them with the energy of your gaze, with the way you breathe when you're with your woman, when you're with your partner, when you're with your kids, intimately breathe with them. What does your posture say about how safe you are and how intimate you are? Try different ways of standing and sitting with the other person. So these are little practices that men can do, right, Chris?
Yeah, like even holding your woman close to you and breathing through your belly into hers, right? Have an awareness of your breath while you're holding her. And that breath will either relax her or close her.
Yeah.
Short and shallow. John will say, he who has the deepest breath owns the masculine pole of the room. And
wow.
It's like, can you use your breath to open her? You know, you can be close. You could hold her, look into her eyes, and you could just breathe.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's going to
take you to an edge, but also transform.
100%. And like slowness. Be slow. Pin her with your presence would be like, move slow, move intentional.
Yeah.
Move. It's like, the more intentional we move, the more safe we feel. You gotta remember, like, men are inherently fucking stronger than women. Like, for them to feel safe, to open to us is the biggest gift that they could ever give us of trust.
Yeah, of course. Of course. And we take that as a given, don't we? Chris, in our world, with the men that we see, you know, the dial is shifting. You know, men are listening to a lot more podcasts, raising awareness, reading a lot more books around this type of stuff. But you and I know that's not going to lead to transformation. It's these physical, embodied practices that are really necessary. We've got to get men out of the logical mind sometimes and into the body. So you and I travel all around the world doing this work, okay? Yeah. It's part of our mission. We're lucky enough to be able to afford to do that. Have you got any advice for a man who I mean, we're in the city of Liverpool now. So men who have got wives and families or partners and families and they don't travel so much, but yet they have a desire to transform. Any advice for that, man?
Yeah, 100%. Find a group of men locally to you that are of the same mindset.
Yeah.
And you might start with one.
Yeah.
And start your own men's group.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard. It's not easy. It's going to trigger the fuck out of you at times.
Yeah.
And people aren't going to show up and they're going to defend and hold back and not share their truth. I've been part of plenty of groups of men where that happens.
Mm-hmm.
However, I think if the intent of that group is to, like, even if it is just a group of men that go and jump in the fucking cold water, or you go on a hike
mm-hmm.
and you're able to talk together, and that might deepen enough for somebody to say, hey, listen, you're not showing up the way that you should or you could.
Yeah.
Or it might look like a container where it's safe enough to share
mm-hmm.
and have
mm-hmm.
no one, sometimes we just need to voice it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And no one say don't coach, don't
mm-hmm.
give advice.
Yeah.
But start a men's group.
Yeah.
Start a men's group that you can meet every other week.
Yeah.
Once a week, 2-3 hours at a time, or an hour and a half at a time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the greatest thing that I've ever done.
Same. I feel so, honestly, Craig, I feel so blessed, like deeply blessed by the men I have in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, like the love that I feel from the men that I have in my life, and like I've got tears in my eyes. Like I'm so grateful. Like I wouldn't be half of where I am now if it wasn't for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really wouldn't. And my kids get a better me because of that. Danielle gets a better me because of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the fucking men are all over the world. Yeah. And that's the level that, like, I'm so committed to this work. I'm so committed to helping other people. And right now that's through my own vessel. Like that's me being who I am and showing up in every way that I can. And we sometimes ignore that impact.
Yeah.
We don't see it because we're doing it, but people notice.
Mm-hmm.
Now I fucking love the way that he's shown up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've got friends in fucking Mexico, Colorado, Texas, fucking California, everywhere.
Yeah.
Copenhagen, fucking wherever you are these days.
Copenhagen, you said that for a reason because you didn't know this, but I'm in Copenhagen next week, so you need to introduce me to your brother.
My friend Thomas, I will definitely introduce you to him.
Great.
It's all over the world. And I just feel fucking down south, local, like everywhere. And it saddens me in some ways because it's like, I fucking want to be around these men every day of my life. If I could be in a compound with these men, have a gym, have a fucking dojo to roll and grapple and tussle and mess around with.
And be quiet with sometimes.
And be quiet with, like fucking just sit by the river. Yeah. I would. But equally, it's like I'm a phone call away from men of depth and presence and awareness and consciousness, and not everyone has that.
Of course. Of course. So we're back to the old pattern of not asking for help, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
And the importance of that.
Cultivation of men that will support each other, I think, for men is the most important thing.
Yeah. And Chris, coming into the moment and just reflecting on your life right now in relationship. And I know that, you're not sat here thinking, do you know what? I have to be with this woman for the rest of my life. I know that your desire is presence on a daily basis and not drifting from that. How has it been for you to be back in your family?
You know what? It's a gift. I didn't think I would be back in that situation. And I'm so proud of Danielle and I, actually. And we've been through a lot, and I don't want to get into the whole mechanics of that, but I think when two people find themselves back together through love, number one, and unity, and the impact that has on our children also.
Yeah.
We're not back together for our children. We're back together for each other, which has a beautiful impact on our children.
Yeah.
I realized how much I missed out. Like I was becoming the father that I didn't want to be, which was the partially absent father.
Uh-huh.
And that time apart, co-parenting, gave me a gift of like really being fully devotional to my kids when I had them. And then now, like, coming back together, integrating, and I'm still not perfect by any means, but just the ability, like we're spending the summer in Asia together.
Wow.
Like, it's so beautiful to be able to experience that. I thought those experiences were gone for good.
Yeah.
You know?
Wonderful.
So yeah, it's just such a blessing, and the love that we have for each other. And I think the respect we have for each other now, and like truly respecting each other.
Nice.
And not taking each other for granted, and knowing what we bring to each other. And I just feel lucky to have met someone. I mean, even in the depth of our crisis, Danielle and I, like, I know that I could call upon her at any time of struggle. And I know that she knows that I would we could be at each other. And if she really came to me and needed help, I would be there. And that's my commitment to her, you know, as the mother of my children. And likewise, she'd do the same for me.
Yeah.
But to have that and then be back together now.
Yeah.
I feel lucky.
Yeah.
And hopefully I can inspire other people. You know, I do believe in the nuclear family. I really do.
Well, brother, it's been an honor to witness your transformation.
Thank you.
And along with some of our other male friends and colleagues, you know, I was only talking with Martin Bone the other day and talking about how fascinated we are at what you're going to do next and what you're going to bring to the world after all these experiences. So what's next for you, mate?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you. You know, I think you've been a constant in my journey over the last few years, and giving me the opportunity to be part of your world and Men Without Masks and all that stuff, and the network that we have. It, you know, you're really at the nuclear of that.
Thanks.
I know that my future will be in leading men, potentially around relationship. I know it's there, and I'm trusting that it will show up when it's required.
Nice.
And so there was a part of me, like you would have known, like 2 years ago, and I was like, I've got to do this, and I have to be a men's coach, and I want to build this business. And I've backed off that, actually. I'm just like, I'm in this work for me right now. I want to just live, be present. I want to deepen into myself. I want to grow. I want to expand. I want to experience. And I'm just so fucking grateful for my family right now. And like, I don't have a great deal of capacity outside of that. I've got business, and I've got my family, and I've got my friends. And that's really important to me. And I know when the time is right. I mean, John ran his business for 10 years while he was in men's work, traveling the world with David Dida, and assisting him, getting paid nothing before he like really truly stepped into his stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm cool with that as well. You know, I've been doing jiu-jitsu 10 years and I've just started teaching kids.
Wow.
And it's a beautiful gift, my little boy in there. And I'm just treating it the same way. It's like, I'm a white belt in this right now.
Yeah.
As much as I know, I've still got plenty to know.
Yeah.
And there's a saying that I always come back to. It's like, leader of one, leader of many, can't lead one, can't lead any. And I think in today's world, we're too quick to want to do the thing that we're working on currently. And we try to bypass the work. It's so easy to set up an Instagram, create some content, set up a business. And I've certainly been guilty of that at times. And right now I'm like, I want people banging down my door to go, hey, I need to work with you.
Yeah.
And I'm just present, patient, and just enjoying every moment.
Wonderful. It's beautiful to hear you say you want to go deeper into yourself so do I. And it's my wish that every single man in the world develops an understanding of what that means.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of the outward search, constant more things here, more houses, more money, more cars, more responsibilities, more books, more tasks. And that, you know, as men in the world, we finally understand within the body what that means to go deeper into ourselves.
Yeah. And have it all, like experience ecstatic love, the abundance of money, and but also don't ignore the connection to self.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where the problems begin.
Yeah.
Right? It's like they begin and end with self, and then there are many wealthy, unhappy, broken, divorced men whose kids don't like them.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be one of those people.
Yeah. Beautiful, mate. What a beautiful statement to finish. It's been awesome, mate, to have you.
Beautiful.
So nice to see you after a while. Thanks for your time and energy, and thanks for your courage.
Yes.
In sharing your journey of transformation.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And let's go and have some dinner.
Yeah, let's do it. Thank you.
So I hope you've enjoyed this intimate episode of the Dare to Be Different podcast. See you on the next one.